cold weather riding tips and helmet tips. I have an HJC RPH A70 helmet. Basically with the helmet, you want to make sure that you can't pull the helmet. You shouldn't be able to pull the helmet over your eyes or off your face easily with one hand. I mean, it should be pretty firm onto your face. That's for helmet sizing. And then you want a helmet with a helmet or jacket in cold weather. You need to have a breath visor and chin curtain for the helmet, and a jacket with a neck gaiter or something like that, because otherwise you're just going to freeze to death riding around in the cold. Basically, I'm going to drop this box off downtown. But you know, as winter months move along, December gets cold, and then the January gets really cold, and then February is cold, and March is kind of cold too. And then the other thing, I'm not like totally 100% impressed with HJC. It's okay. I mean, one thing I don't like about it is their shields seem to wear down much quicker. I mean, that's just the way it is with the HJC. You know, the gearing on the side, the gearing on the side that allows the helmet to go up and the shield to go up and down. That one thing I did notice, like the HJC seems to wear down quicker, so you end up buying a shield quicker. And also from the elements, like as winter rolls along and they start salting the roads and stuff, these shields just can't handle these shields just can't handle the elements. You know, they get worn down pretty bad. Now the other thing you're going to need if you do a lot of cold weather riding, you absolutely have to have the fog shield, the anti-fog element that goes in between the outer shield and the inner shield. You got to have that. I mean, I have that in right now because in the cold weather, if you're breathing in the helmet, you're just going to fog up your screen, and then you won't be able to see through it. So I have here, there's an element inside this helmet, you know, on the inside of the shield, the anti-fog shield that goes inside. Pin lock, they call it pin lock. You're going to want a helmet with a pin lock insert. You know, they all have them. And, you know, they say they can't be cut, but they can be, because I've cut them. In a pinch, when there was none available from the manufacturer that I needed, I've taken other manufacturers and just cut them. And then I've used like a soldering iron to melt the groove, or a Dremel to cut like the groove where the pin lock hooks on. But obviously, if the pin lock insert is any larger than the actual shield, like this one was a RJ. Was a let's see what the model is on this one. Pinlock 21 or something. It's not exactly for this helmet, so I had to cut this down a little bit on the sides, but it fits fine, and it adheres to the inside of the helmet because it has like a rubber gasket. The pinlock has to mate up against the shield to create like a barrier, an airspace, like a gap, but it has to be a sealed one. If it's open, it's useless. You know, you can't just take a piece of plastic and put it in between the shield and you, because Then what will happen is, as you breathe, it'll just fog up the unit. I don't trust people when they have the rear lights on, because if they forget and then they hit the gas, they'll be slamming into you. But this RPHA 70 HAC helmet is not bad. It was $430 when I bought it a year ago. As far as the helmet itself, it's held up fairly well. I mean, I don't drop it or fuck with it because, you know, I don't want to crack it or damage it. But for cold weather, though, this helmet has been really nice. With the chin curtain on the bottom, I ended up gluing that, or actually sewing it, because the chin curtain is just held on with Velcro. But you know, as the months wear on and you're taking this helmet on and off, that Velcro, that chin curtain could get lost, and that's like a bad one if you lose that, because the chin curtain is super important to keeping the wind from coming up under the helmet and drafting under the helmet and then coming into your helmet. You don't want that coming into your helmet. I like the HAC as far as functionality for cold weather riding. It's definitely they got it down pat with the pin lock. I just don't like the fact that the shield is so vulnerable to scratching, because I thought it was originally the pin lock inside, the little plastic insert. I thought that was getting scratched, and it wasn't. It's the outer shield. You have to be really careful with your gloves and stuff when you touch it. But I would imagine that's probably the same for any shield. You just really have to take care of it with kid gloves, you know, because when you're looking through this at night and you get a glare on it, it's not good. You know, like, you might not see a cyclist coming through because that glare, the glare that you get can be pretty bad once the helmet gets really scratched up. So you really want to take care to keep that shield clear and not scratched up. You gotta make sure, because the shield, when it gets scratched, is really, really bad. Like the amount of loss of vision that you get. Is really actually quite terrible. I was actually shocked on the helmet, like how much loss of visibility you get. Like, for example, that cyclist coming up, if this shield was all scratched up and the guy's wearing dark clothing, you might not see him if he doesn't have a light or anything. I've noticed that, like, your visibility is diminished by the scratches at night. During the day, it's totally fine. You can see through the shield, no problem. But at night, with the lights glaring against the scratches. As the scratches get worse and worse, the shield becomes more and more invisible. So you really have to watch how you touch the shield. Like, don't touch it with your gloves. Go grab it from under when you want to lift it up. Now, whatever helmet you go with, you're gonna want this nose guard too. You gotta have that. That's like a must. But the most important thing is chin curtain. Now you can buy. There's a company called Noge. No Ordinary Journey. They're an old company. They've been around for ages. They make neck guards, chin curtains, for riders that just don't have the gear and they just want to buy something. So it'll run with a 400. That was a Ninja 400 with a one of those shorty exhausts. I'll tell you, the Ninja really opens up nice with the shorty exhaust on it. Is that ice? No. Okay, good. Not ice. So as the winter rolls along, if you're going to ride cold weather riding, you got to have heated grips. And I've already toyed with this with many different options. Big gloves. I've worn big, giant, gold, bulky gloves. That doesn't work because you lose control of your hand controls. You don't get that same tactical feel. You've got to have heated grips, and I like to wear thin gloves so that the heated grip does its job. And now I've tried different. These are Oxford. I've tried various heated grips. Like I've even done like the elements that go underneath an existing grip. Because I used to have like these really nice adventure grips that I loved. And I tried putting heating elements underneath, but they don't really work as well, because the problem is without a decent controller, they're not going to auto off, and they'll cause problems for you. So I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend like controller based, wire it right to the battery. So you don't have a problem. This one is wired right to the battery, so I have no issues. That's really important. You don't want something that's just wired it with a switch, because I've done that before with a relay, and without the auto off feature you'll forget it, and then you run your battery down. Or you do it with a relay that turns off with the key switch. That's good too, but that's a lot of wiring, a lot of headache for you. When something breaks or gets messed up, you got to go troubleshooting and figuring out where the problem exists. Whereas when you put the Oxford, you just wire it up to the battery and you're done. Nothing to think about, you know. You just a short run, and it comes with all the wiring long enough to make it to the battery, and it's a pretty decent wire. It's all waterproof connector, so even if you're riding in the rain, you don't have to worry about it. And then I used to hate the Oxford heated grips, but you know, the quality of the grip, but that's because they had like weird hard grips. Now they have these adventure grips that are very soft, and I like them. I think you'll like them too. If you like a nice soft grip, wear a thin glove so you feel the heat. And you gotta have handguards to protect you from the wind. That's a must. If you can come up with like something that goes around the hand, or up a little bit, is really good. It's real important to have something, but these were about as wide as I could get. These are what is it? D-Flex. Yeah, D-Flex hand. I thought they were Pro Taper. They're D-Flex. D-Flex has like the wind guard. It has the regular hand guard and the wind guard that goes over it. Screws right in. These have been through freaking hell and back again. These grips. They've hit trucks and I mean everything. You name it, and they have not given me a problem. And of course you need a jacket with a waterproof shell. This is another thing that I've toyed with for many years, trying to figure out what I wanted to use. And without a doubt, weather changes sometimes. You might get unexpected precipitation. To drive around with a jacket that doesn't have a waterproof shell just doesn't make sense. It's just kind of foolish, actually. You don't want to do that. You want to drive with a jacket with a waterproof shell. It also keeps the wind off of you. But obviously, the other problem is people might try to buy a jacket for a season, and that's another thing that I've learned the hard way. There is no 4-season jacket. So don't even bother trying to find it, because it's just like trying to find a motorcycle that does everything, you know. You want a Gixxer 1000, but you want a dual sport. You know, you can't do it. There's no way. So just like with the jacket, you can't get a jacket that does it all. So I like this Rev'it jacket. It does the job. It's a new jacket. I just got it. I like the neck protection on it. I don't feel any wind coming up into my neck, and that's really important on the neck. The jacket also, I mean, this jacket has a liner that's removable, which is good. You know, you could use it. The most you're going to get out of a jacket is spring, winter, fall. Because there are jackets that I've had that are just strictly like winter. You know, they're so warm that you can't even walk into an office building to do something. You got to rip that thing off because you'll be suffocating. You know that I do have jackets like that, and they're not bad, but I think a three season like this is good. Get a three season jacket, or something that, you know, maybe they don't even claim it to be, but that you've tried on. This Rev'it definitely is a three season because it has the removable. So key features you're gonna want: helmet's got to have chin curtain, breath guard, and a pin lock. That's an absolute must, whatever helmet you choose. It's got to have the sunglasses that go down, because you know, when winter comes and you got a sunny day and you got to put that down, you're gonna need that. You don't want to be messing with glasses if you don't have to. So that's pretty much the most advice I can give you, is the helmets. It has to have those features. Jacket's got to be at least 3 season. Has to have a waterproof shell. That's an absolute must in the gear, and I found that out the hard way, like trying to mess around with various different jackets. Riding through the winter without a waterproof shell jacket is just useless, because you'll have these days where it's wet and it's just going to go right through whatever you're wearing. And trying to wear like waterproof liners doesn't make sense. And next thing, heated grips, like I was saying. Controller base would be better if you can. And that's pretty much it. And you can ride all through the season. You got to have good boots. Pants, you're going to have to wear some sort of like axial clothing inside, to shield you from the wind. Or you can wear motorcycle pants, but the problem is if you're working like I do, where you go in and out of places, you don't want to be using motorcycle pants. It's just too much to be taking that stuff on and off. So if I wear axial liner inside, in between my jeans and my body. That's good to go for me. Or even sometimes I just use like Adidas or any one of those long johns, that protect you from the wind. I use that all the way up until late December, and then in January I got to get radical with stuff. That's pretty much it. All right, everybody, just let me know what you wear in the comments, what you do for cold, because one thing I've learned from riding a motorcycle is you can learn so much from other people. So I've learned so much tips from other riders. So if you can give me some comments and below what helps you in the cold weather riding. All right, everybody, see you on the next one.